Today I'm going to be ranking every single god in Hades. First, some rules. I will be ranking them by their boons, where I find them, not really how they talk. I will not be ranking them on the duo boons, however, because that's two gods, not just them alone. I will also be including Hermes, Hades, and Chaos. Also, they are a bit different. A lot of the rules for them will still stay the same, but some of the rules will be different because they are different. So with that, let's get into the video. I know it's not looking good when the character of the name of the game is first on the list, meaning it's the worst. But here's the thing, Hades only has one boon, and that's his call. Sure, it's a pretty good call, but it's only one boon. And it can't go up to heroic rarity either. It doesn't level up like the other boons. It's a keepsake, the Sigil of Death. So, it's not that good. However, it does have some buffs, such as when you go invisible, it does double damage, and each time you enter an encounter, it fills your God Forge by 10%, 20%, and 30% with each rank respectively. But it just doesn't go to heroic, so that's not that good, because heroic rarity would be really good, but it only goes up to epic. So Hades just isn't that good with his boons. His story, sure, we see a lot of character development for Hades, but that's post-game, only when we defeat him. All in all, Hades ain't that good. Sure, he's fun, but he's not good. He has one boon. Also, you can't equip that boon / keepsake. If you have another call, you have to purge it and then go back to equip Hades' boon. It's just not that good. And even when you use Hades' call against him, when I did it, all I got was, what? That's all he said. Was just, what? It's not a good boon. And it's only for a short time. Sure, foes can't see you, and when you're unseen, which is when it's fully done, they can't even attack you. But it also only has two stages, which is you're invisible, foes can still attack you, they just can't target you, and then unseen, when I'm pretty sure they can't attack you. So, all in all, this is only good for when you're trying to rank it up, or when you're trying to do specific. It would actually be quite good for a hitless run. That's probably all it has going for it, if you're trying to go for a hitless run. Yeah, so that's Hades' boon. Moving on to... So, in actual Greek mythology, Aphrodite is considered the oldest Olympian, as well as one of the weakest Olympians, along with Hestia and Demeter. In Hades, however, she is still quite weak, being the second on this list, or second to go out. So, Aphrodite makes foes weak. What that does, basically, is when you attack a foe, it makes them weak. Normally it's for about 3 seconds. You can get some support boons that makes that longer, but it's normally about 10 to 20%. That's not that good. Hades, somehow he has an attack that allows him to do 80 damage, which is absolutely insane. But what that means is, if he's weak and he attacks you with that 80 damage attack, it'll do 70 damage instead, which is 10 less damage, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that good. As well as her damaging boons, they don't actually increase as much as others do. Her heroic one is normally I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 to 2 times the attack. A lot of other gods, their heroic ones, their minimum is 2 times, so it's not that good of a bonus. And other support boons, there's only 2 or 3 that isn't about increasing her weak effect. Those ones are her legendary boon, her one that makes it so that her cast shoots further, and a pretty good one which any extra life you get actually does more. So say like a plus 25 centaur heart, that would get turned into a plus 36 centaur heart. A plus 25% centaur soul, it would get turned into a plus 36 centaur soul. So on and so forth. Those are pretty good, but all her other ones aren't that good. She has some decent duos, but they're not too good. She does have a special cast for the aspect of Beowulf, which is the hidden aspect of the Shield of Chaos. But no, she is the second one to go, but her support boon just ain't that good. So yeah, and as to how she develops in the story, it's not that good either. Also, to unlock her final heart, what you have to do is you have to forge a bond with Medusa, Megaera, and Thanatos, which is so long. Post game. You can only do her after post game. That will take a while. So it's not fun, but it's not as worse as other ones. others on this list. So yeah, let's move on to... So, in Greek mythology, the sons of Kronos are the big three: Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades. They are supposed to be the strongest of the gods. Air quotes, air quotes. To see that Poseidon, one of the other gods of the big three, is the third on this list, as well as Hades being the first on this list, it's just not looking good for them. As for Poseidon, what his attacks do is they cause knockaway. So if I'm trying to chase after a foe, I will attack it and it will knock away. If it's a ranged foe, that is really bad, because I will hit it, it goes away, it has another chance to shoot before I can hit it again. As for Poseidon's status curse, what it does is rupture. So whenever I hit a foe with knockaway effect, whenever they move, it causes rupture. This is really good against foes that move around a lot, for example Asterius or that Greek wheel cart in Elysium, I cannot remember its name. Poseidon doesn't have two good support boons, that's why he's earlier on this list, but two of his support boons are about ocean bounties. One of them being you get an assortment of ocean bounties such as Charon's Opal, Darkness, and Gems. The other being it increases all that for the rest of the run. One of his other support boons are that when you enter an encounter, you get extra attack and speed for about 10 seconds. That's not too good, especially in boss battles. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember any of his other support boons, meaning they must not be that good. So all in all, Poseidon and Hades really brought the best of the gods down. So next up is... Demeter, the oldest child of Kronos. So in Hades, her effects is she slows foes, so she inflicts chill. Every time you attack a foe, it inflicts 4% chill. What chill does is it slows a foe. It can stack to 10, so in total it can go to 40. You can get some support boons that allows the chill to be more effective, or whenever an enemy gets completely chilled, they take a certain amount of damage. This can be very good in some cases. However, in the rare occasion where you do want folk to be completely chilled, it can be bad. Her Revenge support boon also allows you to completely chill a foe, so it can be a very good combo. One of Demeter's really good support boons is Rare Crop. What that allows you to do is it resets a number of boons to common. For example, you have two rare boons, then you get Rare Crop. They will both get reset to common. So after every 3 encounters, they will go up 1 rarity. So it will start at common, then 3 encounters rare, so they're back to what they originally were, and then another 3 encounters epic, and then heroic. So this can be really good over time. One of the main reasons why Demeter is quite low on this list is because of her cast. If you don't know it, summons a gemstone that stays there for about 10 seconds. It's basically like a brimstone, but a bit worse. You can get some stuff that allows it to be more powerful, such as when it damages a foe, it then does chill, but I don't know why this isn't a base effect, and why you have to get a support boon for it, which is absolutely insane. But you can also get ones that make it last longer, so combine that with the chill, you can get max chill. So Demeter has really good combos. She also has a really good support boon, such as Aphrodite's, where health effects are more potent. However, it's with healing instead of added health. Another really good thing about Demeter is that when multiple foes have chill, it also inflicts decay, which is basically like Dionysus' drunkenness. So that can be really good, but also it's rare. So that's Demeter. I have nothing to say more about Demeter. She's the goddess of the seasons? I don't know. Moving on. Artemis, goddess of the hunt. What she does in Hades is critical damage. So what that does is whenever you damage a foe, it has a chance to do double damage, or it can do more. Normally the chance is quite low, like 2%, which is very low, meaning it will only hit 1 in every 50. Maybe it'll be less, sometimes it might even be more, but if you do hit it, it is really good, especially against bosses. Personally, Artemis has the best cast in the game.
When I first got Artemis, I selected her cast and it was absolutely amazing. Also, it was the first cast buff I ever got, so that's always stuck with me, but it is also the best. Artemis's status curse is marked. So what that does is when you attack a foe, it has a chance of marking them. When they are marked, it has a bonus chance of doing critical damage when you hit the foe. So marked isn't too good, but it can be. It is especially good against tanky foes, as well as critical damage in general. Artemis's boons are not good against horde enemies. However, against big prey, they are good, as she is the goddess of the hunt. Artemis also has one of my favorite support boons of all the gods. So it's called Support Fire, and whenever you attack, special, or cast, it fires a mini arrow. It goes from 10, 12, 14, then 16 with each rank up. It can be really good, especially if you have Blitz Shield, the Shield of Aegis enchantment. So every single time that hits, you summon another arrow and it can go absolutely insane. Or if you have an attack that is constantly chaining, it can also be really good. But I severely underestimated Artemis until today, so I was doing a run, and that's why I now appreciate her a whole lot better. She was originally supposed to be below Demeter, but I did a run and she is actually really good. She also gives you the hidden aspect of the arrow, so it's actually quite a good enchantment, which I actually just got today, but she is also very hard to forge a bond with. So in my main playthrough, she's the only person I have not forged a bond with, and it is so annoying. Apparently it takes ages to forge a bond with her, so that is very, very annoying. So other than that, she's actually quite good, and I have really underappreciated the goddess of the hunt. Also, a side tant, her brother Apollo, why isn't he in Hades 1? I actually don't know this, but why is Apollo, Hephaestus, and Hera not in Hades 1? Why? That's what I want to know. Okay, tangent over. Bye, goddess of the moon. Moving on. Ares, god of war. So what he does is he inflicts doom. What that does is whenever you attack, it then has a delayed effect, which in about 0.5 seconds I think it is, it then does an extra damage. This can be really good, especially if you get his support boon, which allows you to stack doom so that it all piles up on top of one enemy, and then it can all pile on one big attack. This can be really good in a lot of different situations. Ares also has some of my favorite support boons. What they do is they increase all the attack. So one of them, they increase the special, attack, and cast all by 16% in the epic rarity. Others is also such as when you use a Death Defiance, for that rest of the encounter, you deal 30% damage. Plus 30% damage is a giant increase with every Death Defiance. It can be really good in tough boss battles, especially in early game when you're still learning how to use your weapon. Ares can also turn you into a blade, so that is also really cool. So he either inflicts doom or blade effects, and it's just really fun, the animation, looking at Zagreus just spinning around, because you can actually still see his legs in the epicenter of Ares' call, which is weird, but it's awesome and I love it. Also, Ares is my favorite prophecy in the game. So if you do not know, Ares' prophecy is kill 10,000 foes. I had killed 27,000 foes by the time I had gotten Ares' prophecy. So I completed that immediately, but that does not matter. This is still my favorite prophecy. Ares also has more attack buffs. He also has some of the best heroic percentage increases. I'm pretty sure they're like 2.7, which can be really, really good. His support boons are actually good, and they do help him a lot. So that is the God of War. He likes blood. Moving on to next, we have Hermes, goddess of speed, rose, travelers, thieves, so many different stuff. But in Hades, he is a very special god. So of the main gods, he is completely different. He does not help you attack. He only supports speed, constantly speed. He also has one of my favorite support boons. This one's either my favorite or my second favorite, I do not know. But every time you enter a chamber, you get coin, which can be really good, especially in the Temple of Styx, because each of those little ones, you get coin. So it can also speed up your attacks, which can be really good. Some it doesn't matter too much, but for example with the Bull Rush, if you get plus 30% attack speed, charges up way faster. It is insane as well. If you also get your Bull Rush charges up faster, it becomes so fast. Personally, I don't understand his legendary boons. One of them I do get. It's not too good. It's probably one of the worst legendary boons. What it basically does is your Bloodstone returns to you. If you have that duo between Zeus and Artemis, I think it is, it's not too good. He also has sturdy effects, so that can be really good. Hermes also is quite cheeky, so he does a wager with you, which is you to defeat Charon twice in a row. I cannot remember what leads up to this point, but I have not done it yet. Not that it's hard, I just can't find an opportunity to, or I keep forgetting. But you get 5 Titan Blood, which is very, very good, so it's a very hard prophecy. Hermes is also quite easy to forge a bond with. All you have to do is talk to him while you have the Lambent Plume freestarred. Also, he has a Steam achievement, so I like him. Yeah, God of Swiftness, he's fast. So I'm gonna fastly move on to Chaos, the primordial being. So in Greek mythology, Chaos came first. He is what created all. So what Chaos does is you have to enter through a Chaos Gate. To enter through a Chaos Gate, you have to take damage. Normally it's 18 to 25. Once I somehow got it, I think it was 30, but that's another story. His keepsake, it allows you to enter through the Chaos Gate without taking damage. So that can be really good. So Chaos has his own land, the Land of Chaos, through the Chaos Gate. It is also known as the Void, I think, and you can get a whole new variety of river denizens, which when you sell them you get darkness, which is obvious. As for Chaos's boons, what you get is primordial boons, but to get those, you have to get primordial banes first. Chaos, however, is one of my favorite gods for this reason. You only have to suffer through a primordial bane for 3 to 5 encounters, but you get the primordial boon for the rest of the run, and the primordial boons can be really good. Sometimes they don't even appear to the primordial banes. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but I don't care. Chaos is really, really good. Also, he has a very awesome backstory. Also, his character development is quite good. So you hand him Ambrosia and he's like, what is this? Blah blah blah. Also, with Nyx, you also see him develop with that, his daughter. But some of Chaos's boons, they are really, really good. So they can get you extra coin, extra attack, extra special, extra cast. They can get you so many other stuff. Primordial Banes are stuff like you take hits when you cast special act. It's just stuff, but it's not that bad of stuff. It is normally very, very stuff that can be easily countered. So Chaos is just so fun. He has his own land. Sure, you have to take damage to get into it, but that doesn't matter. He has an awesome backstory, being the first person to ever exist. You get his boons for the rest of the run for just a 2 to 3 encounter debuff. 3 to 5 encounters, I mean, and that's the debuff. Just 3 to 5 encounters, and it's not even that bad of a debuff most of the times. And Chaos, he's just so fun to hang around with. Also, his keepsake is an egg. You got egg on your face. Zeus, king of the gods, lord of the sky, and third on this list. Now, Zeus does have a lot of good qualities. That is why he's this far up on the list. But one thing you do not want to do with Zeus is face off against him. What I mean by that is not picking him in the Trial of the Gods, or face off against him when you're fighting the heroes. It would be really bad if Theseus summons Zeus. You can be really screwed, especially if it's your first time fighting the heroes and Theseus summons Zeus. There is little to no chance that you're gonna make it on your first time if Theseus summons Zeus. So yeah, you don't want to fight off against Zeus, so that's another good reason to pick him. So yeah, Jolted is Zeus's status curse. What that does is, when you attack a foe with lightning damage, whenever that foe attacks, they then get jolted. Sometimes it can actually work really well, because they will take a second of being stunned, I guess, and they won't be able to attack you. Again, it's the same with those Greek wheel carts, because when they move, it's attacking you. Zeus has to be the best god for horde battles. This is because his lightning damage can bounce around foes. So his cast, when you cast it, it will attack one foe, then it will bounce around to about 4 others, but you can get a support boon that actually allows it to bounce around more. His attack also does the same thing. What his special does is instead of causing lightning damage, it makes a bolt of lightning come down from the sky. There are 2 support boons for this. 1 is a chance for it to strike twice. 2 is making it strike in a wider area. Both of these can get really good, especially if you do it with the Shield of Aegis. You might notice I'm mentioning the Shield of Aegis a lot, and that is because it is my main weapon. Also, he has one of the best calls in the game because he is chaotic. So that is why it is bad to face off against him, because what it is his call, and his call is broken. What it does is when you press F, when you have the God Gorge, lightning just strikes everywhere, and it is really good in horde battles as well. In boss battles, it isn't too good though, because you have to get close to the boss. But in horde battles, it is broken, because normally an enemy is always around you anyway, so it can be just absolutely broken. Other than that, Zeus is just a chill guy. I mean, he's Hades, but older. He's reverse Hades pretty much, but has the same anger. Actually, Hades has less anger than Zeus. Yeah, so that's the Lord of the Sky, wielder of lightning. Moving on. Dionysus, god of wine. So what Dionysus does in Hades is he causes drunkenness. What that does is whenever you cause drunkenness with a hit, every single tick the foe gets stalled. I'm just gonna call it stall. Basically what that does is when they stall, it stops, the foe stops moving. So every second drunkenness tick. It can depend on what it is. For example, if it's an attack or a special or even the call. So the call, I think it's based like 24, whereas the dash is based like 3 or 4. But you can upgrade it with the Palm of Power, so it can get really good. It also stacks up to 5 times, and so say like the attack is 8 drunkenness, again can get upgraded, but every time you attack a foe, it'll add 1 drunkenness above their health bar, and so each time it ticks, it's 8. If it's going to be 5 drunkenness, each time it ticks, it's going to be 40. As well as Zeus, Dionysus is just horrible to face off against. What is wrong with these two? They are absolutely horrible to face off against. So Dionysus is also very chaotic. Not as chaotic as Zeus is, but basically what he does is he sets up a bunch of little spots, and they're traps. So if you step on them, you gain 1 drunkenness as well as doing a bit of damage. It can be really bad to have drunkenness, because every second it just ticks on you, as well as doing 1 damage, but if you have 2 drunkenness, it does 2 damage, etc, etc. Especially if Theseus summons this in the hero fight, it can be really bad, because it's traps, and every second you get hit. And with that every second, that then means Theseus has another chance to attack you, and then he can do more damage, and just all in all. Dionysus has some pretty good support boons. So there's some that just increase the drunkenness, but then there's, say like one where every time you pick up Nectar, you get 25 health, 30 health, depending on the rarity. You also get given 1 Nectar. If this is late game, where you have the Renovator, where every time you pick up a Nectar, you get a Palm of Power. It can be good, I guess. But there's another one where every time you go to a fountain, it fully heals you instead of partially heals you. I think base it's a 50% heal, but I can't be sure on that, so double check that information. But as well as it fully healing you instead of partially healing you, it also adds 5 total percent to your attack. So if you find it in Tartarus, it is a lot better than finding it in Elysium or the Temple of Styx. So you base get 20 if you find it in Tartarus. If you find it in Temple of Styx, it will be base 5 or something. But as well as if you find it in Tartarus, there is a chance to find the fountain in every chamber, as well as just the exit chambers to the next underworld region. I'm pretty sure there's also a Well of Charon boon that allows you to get a fountain guaranteed spawn ahead. I can't be sure on that as well, but oh well. Dionysus, very chaotic, horrible to face off against. He's like Zeus. He has a very bad cast, which I'm just going to mention now. So every time you cast, it's a lob instead, so it also stuns foes, so that's also a bonus, I guess, but it's not particularly good. It does have a good duo, but I'm not counting the duos, so I'd say it's one of the worst casts in the game. So that's Dionysus, god of wine. He also used to be my favorite god, except now this next god is. Let's move on to her.
So, Athena, she is the goddess of wisdom. Now, in Hades, what she does is she has the best ability. So, it makes you deflect projectiles, which can be really broken. Even when you're not deflecting projectiles, her dash also makes you deflect. So you can dash up to a foe, causing it to deflect. It doesn't actually deflect sometimes, but you don't take damage when you deflect. He is really good against ranged foes, because just attack the projectile and it will go flying back at them. You get a support boon which makes it does extra damage. I don't think you realize how good it is when you dash up to a foe. You have Athena's dash, you are not taking any damage. It can be absolutely broken if you have Hermes boon, which allows you to dash some more. So you know that 80 damage attack I was talking about earlier with Hades? If you were to dash into that with Athena's deflect, it would do no damage. So Exposed gets activated when you deflect a projectile back at a foe. Doesn't even have to be back at a foe, you just have to deflect the projectile. And what it does is, for 5 seconds, victims take more damage than struck from behind. That can be really good. I think it depends. Yeah, so I have a list up here. So common 50%, rare 62.5%, it goes up by 12.5% each rank. But that can get really, really good actually. So Athena also has some other really good boons, such as she gets 2 different support boons, which give you 1 Death Defiance back, as well as doing other stuff. For example, Last Stands, you get bonus restoration than normal. Heroic is 16%, so you get plus 16% rarity. Other than just healing to 50 health, you heal plus 66%. And the other one is after you use a Death Defiance, you're impervious for longer. Heroic is plus 3.5 seconds. Also, she is probably the best legendary boon in the game. So every once in a while, you have a barrier that negates all incoming damage. So all of it. So it's basically the dash spam, but way better. Sure, the cooldown's 20%, but get over it. So Athena is really good because she can just negate oncoming damage by a lot. Also, she has 2 very good support boons. One makes you resist damage, which at heroic rarity is you resist all damage by 12.5%, and the other is you resist damage from traps. At heroic rarity, it's 95%. Imagine that, you're gonna get attacked, but nah, 95% of that attack is just gone. So yeah, I don't like her call too much. So what it does is you're invulnerable and can deflect for at heroic rarity. Her greater call is 1.95. So Athena, her call, I'm not counting her call, but other than her call, she has to be the best god in the game. So yeah, that's it. On to the last section. What can I say about this guy? He is the best of all the gods. I mean, he is the main character. So, Zagreus' story is about wanting to escape the underworld, wanting to see what is above. When he gets there, he finds that he cannot leave, but he does find out about his mother. Eventually, he convinces his mother to come back to the underworld, and instead is given a job of protecting the underworld's security, tightening it, seeing if it's any better. The epilogue is then about Zagreus trying to get all the gods in one place and have good connections with the underworld. So, Olympus and the underworld uniting as one, instead of 2 separate enemies. Other than that, Zagreus is very powerful. I mean, he has 6 different weapons. All of them have 3 different aspects, plus more, and you can upgrade those. He beats multiple big bosses. He beats Hades multiple times. He has relationships with so many different people. He forged a bond between Olympus and the underworld, which everybody thought was impossible. Rescued his mum, made his dad more forgiving. He gave Dusa a job, the head chef a job. He renovated the house. He got to know who Skelly was, gave Skelly a purpose. Cerberus is liking more. He has the Mirror of Night. Next, he bridged the gap between Nyx and Chaos, as well as 2 others, Achille and Patroclus, Eurydice and Orpheus. Sisyphus got freed, and so many more. This guy is the best. I don't want anybody to tell me that this guy is not the best of all the gods. So, Zagreus, tell me otherwise that he's the best in section now. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like the video if you liked the video. This took me a lot longer than I expected it to. I have not actually done a proper edited video before. All those other Silksong videos, those weren't edited, they were just volume regulated. But this is my first proper edited video, and it somehow took me 10 hours. I did not think it would take that long. So please like, subscribe. It would help me out a lot, and thank you for watching the video of me ranking the gods of Hades. Leave your own opinions down in the comments, let me know why, and goodbye, see you in the next one.